What's up, guys? Welcome to the Do Good Movement. Our purpose here is to make a positive impact in our society through real-life education. The movement comes into play when you guys share the content to help other people do good just like you. For you watching, you could tell I'm in my favorite outfit today. Comfy. Been wearing this for some time, all right? So, I don't know how to bring this up, but I'm just going to bring it up and start talking about it. So, a lot of us, we want kids or we have kids, right? And I want to start at the very beginning. Do you want kids? That a lot of people say yes, and people say no. I respect the hell out of you for saying no because you probably thought through this and exactly what I'm going to talk about today. I have kids. I love my kids. I would never change that decision for the world. But what I'm going to talk to you about today is something that nobody has ever talked to me about before I had kids. With my wife, we both wanted kids, and we wanted I can't speak for her. I wanted kids for the selfish reasons. I wanted kids because I wanted to, groom them and have, make them my best friends and go on these vacations and have this life that you see on social media. Like you have these visions of what family means and all that and the Christmas, right? And nobody's ever said, hey, Dylan, before you have kids, I want you to think about this, this, and this. And that's what I plan to do in the show today. And you guys listening, I just really want you to take some time and think about this before you make the decision. Now, there's a lot more that comes with kids than the good things. They become a person eventually, right? They contribute to society, whether that's good, whether that's bad. And really, one of the whole reasons I do this whole Do Good Movement show is due to bad parenting out there. I'm trying to help our society through real life education, being basically the dad of all these people that didn't have the right parenting, right? They weren't taught the right ways. And so I'm out here spending my time trying to reteach and re-help a lot of people. And that's kind of hard to do when people hit, 18 and above, because they're kind of really getting set in their waves, right? So I want you to take the selfish part about having kids and really think, as I'm talking through this, what else comes with that, guys? I was walking, I was taking my daughter, down the beach this weekend, and she has this little Strider bike, and she's out going, and I'm running, and I just smell this pot, and we live in a good area. I'm not saying weed's bad by any means, but this situation's bad. And I look over, and there's this group. There's six to seven kids, and I would say they're anywhere between 13 and 15. No parents. They're all just sitting on the beach right there, just smoking pot. And that's unfortunate, right? They're doing that because they have nothing else to do. Maybe they thought that's the right thing to do, and it's not because it's not because they don't like it, right? They might not even know it's a bad thing to do at that age, and what it could do and how it could cripple you for later. And I'll kind of get into that. I don't want to get into the whole drug thing, but it's just I didn't think about those kids doing something wrong. I thought about what the fuck were their parents, and how do they even get into this at that age, right? And I'm talking about that, and I know it's kind of slowing down where I'm going with the show, because with my childhood, I grew up with friends that got into drugs, and it started with weed from a young age, just like this, right? And some of my friends made it through, and some of my friends didn't make it through, that are on the complete deep end as you possibly could see. And so it's a pivotal moment when you're with kids on who they're going to be when they're older. And then so it's a weird event this weekend, and I keep going, we keep going on our bike, and we go find this park. We start going to the park, and then you have this other group of kids. You have these two 13-year-olds and maybe this 8-year-old. And this little girl, I felt so bad. I'm sitting there, and I'm pushing my daughter on the swing and tickling her and all this joy. And I keep looking over. It's for 15 minutes. And this little girl is just head down. She has rocks in her hand, playing with rocks in her hand, just looks bummed, at 8 years old, when you should be thriving and having fun. The other two kids, one sitting on the swing and one sitting against a pole, and they're on their phones and they're just texting. Nothing going on, right? Is it the kid's fault, guys, or is it the parents' fault? the kids, you know, you could only do so much at a certain age. It's a parent's responsibility. So I'm going to get deeper in a minute, but I want to use this as a quick little break. Before you decide to go and have kids, guys, your kid is going to be a spitting image of who you are today unless they're taken away from you or unless they hold the middle finger up and go and do their own thing. But if you're a good or a bad person and everybody thinks they're a great person, your kid's going to be pretty close to exactly who you are today unless a mentor found them along the way to make this pivot. And so I want you to really look at your life and say, hey, do I have it all figured out? Am I living the life I want to? Am I happy? And all those things. And if you guys haven't figured it out, if you're in a spot of just unsure, uncertainty, and you're looking to have a kid to make yourself better, do not fucking have a kid. Get it figured out for you. And when you feel like you got it, you're ready, you get it, you want to invest your life into that kid, then go ahead and have your kid. But if you're looking to have a kid because you hate your life right now, you're depressed, you're looking for something to do, you think it's just a thing to do not have a kid. Don't go have sex, dude. Whatever it takes. It's serious shit, guys. So when this kid, a couple things to think. If you guys like to go out and party, you guys like to go fuck off. If you guys like to not be serious with your significant other, if you guys like to just do stuff on your own time, whatever you want to do, and just live a selfish life, a kid's not for you. If you guys have learned some things and you guys are ready to invest every second of every minute you possibly can with no excuses into somebody else and somebody else's future, then go have a kid. Because let me tell you what parenting is about, right? There's time where you get a look at this kid and it's beautiful and it's amazing and they love and they laugh. But if they don't have the attention, if they don't have the parenting, if they don't have the love, they are probably not going to become good people in this world, and they're going to be living a life that they don't want to live, okay? So when you guys have these kids, you need to invest every second you can. And you might say, hey, man, I work a hard job. I'm tired. I want to just go home and rest. That is not a fucking option when you have a kid. You get off work. Working 2 jobs shouldn't be a fucking option either, guys. I know you say I got to make income for my kid. No, you're just making a dumbass decision because you won't get the fuck up from what you're doing to go do something better that's going to pay you more money. Those are the hard conversations you need to have when you start having kids. Do I have the time? If you're working 2 jobs, you don't have the time. Don't go have a kid. You have to financially be stable so you get the time to spend with your kid when you get home. You shouldn't be gone all the time either. If you plan to be gone all the time, you plan to go build this big business, don't have your kid right then. Have your kid later when you think you're going to be settling down, when you think you're going to have the time. Your kid is going to learn everything that's going on within those first 18 years. So this is what it's like. You're going to get up early, that you might get up early or not. You're going to have to go work your ass off. When you get home and you feel tired, you need to be as energized as you possibly can, like it's Christmas morning and you just won the fucking lotto. Because your kid doesn't know the day you went through or the hard conversations you had or you lost your job or you're not able to pay your bills. They don't know that, and they don't need to know that, and they don't need to even fucking hear that conversation. What they need to know is that you're there for them, you're ready to play with them, you're ready to teach them and make their life as exciting as possible. You need to hold in whatever you're going through, whatever struggles you're facing internally. And when you get home, you need to be on top of your A game to help provide for your kids. Now come the weekend. Had a long week from work. It's Friday night. You want to go have some drinks with some buddies. Kids are asleep. You got a babysitter. Well, what do you feel like when you get home from having some drinks? You go to bed. The next morning, what do you feel like? You feel like crap. Well, what's that going to do? You're probably not going to want to do anything. So then what? You're going to have your kids sit there, watch TV. God knows what they're getting taught there on TV, right? They're going to sit there. They're going to be stagnant. And they're starting to learn all this, right? They're starting to learn, hey, I just need to sit here and be a mushroom, right? Or be a potato, couch potato, whatever you call it. That's not right, guys. So that decision of going out with your friends on Friday night, that decision's gone. It's, I need to be up and I need to be ready to invest in my kids and do what's for my kids. And I could promise you guys, if you're not living your life, if you have kids and you're not living your life for your kids, they're either going to become a shithead or they're going to be a problem in our society. And you're either going to deal with the repercussions as they get older because you're responsible for everything they do until they're 18, or they might do something bad in our society, in our world, that's all going to relate back to how you were as a parent. You could say, hey, they're their own person. No, they're who you put into them. So I hope this is clicking with you. Some of you guys might be saying, screw you, Dylan. I don't fucking care, dude. That's a choice. It's not an option. It's not a, hey, God just said, here's some kids, go figure it out. No, you got to choose to have them. If it happened by accident and it happened by purpose, you need to change and think about everything you're doing today to invest every ounce of every second with intent to your kids and teach them. If you don't know how to teach them, how do you learn? Go watch YouTube. Go read books. Do all these different things. Learn how to be a good parent. You're not going to just understand and figure it out, but say, hey, I got time. I need to spend with my kids. I listen to Dylan's podcast. I need to show the energy. I need to be there. I just need to bucket all this pressure and put it over here, and I just got to be there. Now what do? I don't arts and crafts, go outside and play ball. There's 1,000 different things. Go watch YouTube. Go research it. There's 1,000 books on how to become a good parent, and that's what you need to spend all your time in doing. Every decision, therefore, once you have a kid is, what's best for my kid, what's best for my significant other, and then what's best for me. That's the order of life that it needs to follow, and that's how it should follow. And if you're not ready to make those decisions and have 2 other groups ahead of you, you're not in a place to have kids. And if you're not in a place to be able to pay for the medical bills or any bill that comes up, you shouldn't be having kids. You shouldn't be having sex. Because when the kid's there, you can't take it back. And if you're a person to give up your kids or do any of that stuff, you're a piece of shit. Period. I don't care what anybody's told you, you're a piece of shit. You have that kid, you take fucking care of the kid, you change your life to serve that kid. That's what being a parent is. No, it's aggressive, it's hard, but that's the truth, man. That's what I've learned through the whole thing. But what I could tell you is, first 8 months for me, super hard, man. Super hard. I didn't have a connection. I didn't have a booby to feed the kid, okay? And it just wasn't there, right? And I'm going through this, I guess just not being a parent life with my wife, and we're doing all these fun things and traveling to, oh, crap, we can't do that anymore, right? We got to make sure the baby's home, the baby's safe. We have to do these things. We have to be up. There's a lot that goes around it. So I went through this 8 month of mental, whew, this is hard, but I'm a committed man. It's what we talk about in another podcast, being committed, right? No days off. I'm committed, we're going to get through it. And then at month 8, we started engaging and started to do these little play things, right? And you start seeing this kid smile and laugh at you, and you're like, oh man, this is cool, I'm getting it. And then we hit month 18, and at 18, we're really engaged, it's becoming fun. And I'm like, dude, this is becoming cool. And then I started getting closer to 3 years, and it came to this hard part that I was talking about, where I just kind of just grilled all you guys on, to this is all I really care to do. I don't really care to do many things. I was just out at hanging out with some of my buddies to go see them, which was amazing. I love my buddies, and I had my daughter with me. And it's funny, you go to these events and you see people bring their kids, where do they spend their time? I could be known as a dick, but I don't mean to do this. But my kids with me, this whole time, I probably spent 10 minutes with my buddies, 3.5 hours with my kid. We played bocce ball, we went and swam, and we just hung out and had a good time. We played Barbies together with all my best buds right there, and I just wasn't there, right? Because I made the choice to have a kid. I made a choice to bring my kid. I'm going to be present there with my kid. But it becomes this thing now where how the human body and how it just works. If you make that commitment, guys, it just becomes really the only thing I care to do. Like, what do you want to do on the weekend? I don't know. I want to go hang out with Rylan. Let's go ride bikes. Let's go do these different things. Because now it's not only I'm able to bring her joy, but she brings me joy and she brings me purpose. But there's a lot more that goes behind that before you have a kid, guys. It's not all fun and games, man. There's a lot of serious responsibilities. And if your guys' kids are getting into trouble, you did something wrong as being a parent, and you need to figure out how to correct that. You need to take your time and invest into your kid. You need to put them before your business. You need to put them at times, or not at times, all the time in front of your friends, in front of your families, and that needs to be your focus. That needs to be what you're building. That needs to be what you're proud of, and just bring them along with you guys. Bring them everywhere. What you say, what you do, your kids are going to copy that. So if your kids hear you arguing with your significant other or cussing at somebody or frustrated at something, they're going to be that same way, okay? And even the shows they watch, like I was playing t-ball with my daughter, or not even t-ball, I throw the ball and she hits it, she's crushing it, and she'll miss, and she'd be like, ugh, and I'm like, the heck, where did you learn that? And I said, hey, Rylan, look, we get to go and do this. We don't have to do this. We don't get frustrated here. If you hit the ball, let's give a high five. If you don't, let's batter up. Let's get ready to go it again. But we just don't get frustrated. But that's a fault on me, guys, because there was obviously a time where I was busy or my wife was busy, and she was probably watching a show that showed some type of frustration. And that could carry easily all the way through, life. And you think like, oh no, they just figured it out. No, dude, they literally are like paying attention to everything you do, everything you say. And it's very important. However you want that kid to be, you got to be the spitting image of that kid. So if you're not there, get there, invest in yourself, read self-improvement books, just be the best person you could be. There's things that life throws at you guys. Your kid's not going to understand that. Your kid's going to deal with that shit on their own later in life. Be able to take it in emotionally. You can have the conversation of things going on and how you're fixing it, and that's how life works, and be positive about it, because then your kid's going to be that way, okay? But the emotional part, if you can't control that, go have a conversation with yourself in the car. Go on a walk. Do whatever to get your head clear so you're able to be a good example of what your kid should grow up to be like. I think this is a show that everybody should hear, guys. I know there's some aggressive parts in there, but it's the truth, man. I wish I could be a dad for everybody. I'm not saying I'm the best dad, but like I'm just like, man, how do I just adopt all these kids? I want to show them like what life could be. It sucks seeing, a little girl at 8-year-old just sitting there with her head down, just scrambling rocks, and I'm sitting there as a parent this Sunday pushing my kid back and forth on a swing and having a good time. You might be like, oh, Dylan, shut up, dude. You got this money. That's why you could do the, to work Sunday. Guess what, fuckers? I fucking pre-planned 10 years ago to have kids today. I wasn't out having kids at 18 years old. All this life that you see wasn't given to me. I built it, and I said I want to have kids one day. So how do I do that? My life is a fucking design of all my work from literally 10 years ago, and I had all these targets, and I just hit a big one at my 10-year mark, and I'm at a point today. I have an amazing team, amazing executive team. I do not have to go in the office at all. I could spend the rest of my life with everything we have plus more with my family because I designed my life that way. And if I'm not saying it has to be to where my life is and comparing that to you by any means, but you need to think and plan this through before you start having kids. Get yourself in a good spot mentally, get yourself in a good spot financially, then go ahead and have kids if that's what your heart desires, because there's a massive obligation to our society, and that kid is an example of you. That is everything about you, and people should be saying you have the most amazing kids. That's a testament of the parent you are. That's what I have for you guys today. Do good.